beautiful day for golf.
We're not good enough golfers.
Where is the beverage cart? Can't believe I paid money for this.
And we're rolling. So unfortunately, Jordan is, as he put it, on his deathbed with some kind of sickness he got over the weekend, or it's just the accumulative hangover from all the fun we had.
Yeah, I think they call that the bottle flu.
Could be.
Or it could just be the flu.
Could be
Really?
just the flu, actually, yeah, because he was actually not feeling too bad on Sunday, but...
What happened to your intro? You don't do the intro anymore, right?
No. Just we're past that now.
No. Welcome back to the Ridge Golf Podcast, everybody. They like it. You gotta give
How you doing?
But at any rate, this is a wrap on the 33rd annual Eskimo Open that we had this last weekend, which was fun.
I enjoyed myself.
Yeah. Well, it was the first year that I sponsored a hole, or we sponsored a hole. Ridge Golf sponsored a hole. And actually, I was so busy doing that, I didn't even get to check out the golfing. Like, I didn't even make my way 50 feet over through those bushes to see what they actually had set up. So, and Alex was sick, so he wasn't able to make it on the weekend. So, Brady, you're the only one that can really tell us actually
I
what
get
it was
to
like.
tell you all about it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was painting the bowl, so to speak.
So it's almost like they set up like a par 3 mini golf style course, whereas like every hole had its own little unique obstacle type of thing you had to shoot around or through, over, under, that type of thing. You know, like the first hole had a couple of downed Christmas trees with a like tunnel through the middle. Like looked like one of those like kids tunnels you could kind of crawl through, but a little smaller, and you could try to hit it through there if you wanted, or you could try to hit it over that thing to get to the hole. And then there was one where they set up like little gardening fences, like knee high little, wire fences. And they kind of ran like a little serpentine path through it that you could, again, either try to hit over, through, around, that type of thing. Like, you might make it through or you might not. They had a few, random like little teepee style signs posted up. You could, again, like they just had a bunch of little obstacles on each little hole. Each hole was very different, very unique.
So that's kind of cool, though. A little change from, more mini golf style than golf style. That's kind of neat.
Yep. And, since we were kind of doing our own thing, we made up our own rules where if you bypassed the obstacle, you just took your normal stroke. But if you had the courage and tried to go through the obstacle or do it, then you get -1 if you made it through it, like on your first try. So we were shaving some strokes in a few of them. I was like, if I go through that little hole, I'll get -1. Like, so is it worth the risk, or do I go around? I don't know.
Do they have actual holes in the ground, or?
They had buckets set up at the end. You got to hit it in the bucket at the very end.
I find it so weird you're this clueless about it. Like you didn't walk around at all and see.
No, literally, dude. This is where they were playing golf. I could look through and I could see people playing, but I never even made my way over there. So this year, it's supposed to be out on the ice.
Who was bumping, boy? He couldn't get away.
Yes, that's true. But this year, it's supposed to be on the ice. They had 2 inches of ice out on the lake, which is unsafe. They at least want 15 or whatever. So this is the best that they could do. So they had everything behind the bar, and then they got permission from the landowners that connected to the bar, and that's where they set up the golf course. And I never made my way over there to see. So I assume these buckets were laid on their side to hit them in.
Yep. And again, we did, if you just hit the bucket any old spot, that's your normal score. But if you actually make it in the front of the bucket, we did another -1. So there was a couple holes in ones out there in our group. There was 1 or 2 hole in zeros. Very impressive.
That is impressive.
Slap it all the way through the thing and get the hole in one. Like, that's pretty good.
How long did it take you to roll through that? 9?
I don't know. I didn't time it. Probably about 45 minutes or so.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it went pretty quick.
Let's say that's pretty
we
fast.
were never really waiting too long at any spot. We actually jumped in on there was a little bit when we walked over there, a few other groups were starting, and we actually went and started on hole 9 because there was nobody on that one. And then by the time we got to hole 1, those groups had already gone a couple holes ahead of us. So we basically had no wait in front of us then. So
Nice.
Do you have an idea of how many people were? I guess how many people you saw
In
that day? How many played?
oh
Probably.
man, in the whole place,
Yeah.
hundreds. I mean,
So it was pretty big this year, even with the no ice.
It
oh yeah,
wasn't
I
as
mean every hole had a group at it. There was every station, every sponsor station had people at it. The bar was pretty full. It was still quite a pretty decent crowd, I think.
yeah, it was slow going at first, like because usually that place is packed at 10:30 when the normal stuff's going on, and then after a while though they started to trickle in, and I know they had the 9 holes on one side of me, and I know on the other side they had like it was like a miniature top golf setup
Yeah,
where you
I
could
called
drive
it
from the
redneck top golf. It was like kiddie pools filled with sand and little point markers in them, and you could tee off from up by the parking lot there and try to hit it into the kiddie pools.
yeah, because I saw the orange fence across the lake, and I'm like, oh, that's so people don't walk on the ice. No, that was just a backstop
To catch the
for the,
balls. Yeah,
so the tennis balls wouldn't roll into the lake.
yeah.
Um,
They had the tiki bar open. I
They
saw.
did have the
yeah,
tiki bar open. Yeah,
Dude. Yeah,
tiki bar rocking. Shane was bartending down there, had his full Carhartt jumpsuit
get up.
on and
Yep.
the cowboy hat. That it was cold. I'm not
They
gonna
rocked
lie,
some
dude.
Jello shots down there and a few other things.
well, you're
Mhm.
right by the water. It's gonna be pretty cold.
Well, it was windy. So the
Oh
sun was
yeah.
So the sun was out, but it was like 32. But man, that wind was coming off the lake, and my shoulders hurt from standing there all day. And you know, when you kind of like the wind's blowing, you just tuck your shoulders up into
That
your
little
neck.
hunch. Yep.
Yeah, so I did that for about 6 hours straight. And then when I finally warmed up, my shoulders came down. I was like, oh
Yeah,
shit.
we were going in and out, and I never got not too chilly. When I'd take my hand out of my glove to crack a new beer, that was a little chilly, and then I'd just put it right back in that glove. We'd be all
Yeah.
good.
That'd
Yeah.
be a good event for like what are those like? Doesn't Milwaukee carry those now? Like those vests that are heated, like they run off a battery or whatever.
Yeah,
I
there's
Oh
a
think
yeah,
it's
lot of
like
they got
heated
companies that
vests or
have
something
those.
like that. Gosh, that'd be perfect for that.
yeah,
Yep.
they got heated gloves, everything now. But yeah, so then the booth went over really well. Thanks to everybody that stopped by. We got a lot of traffic coming through that, but I think that's what happens when you have a bunch of shots laying out on your table, a bunch of snack sticks laying on your table, and the only guy within a good 70-foot radius that has a garbage can. Those are my
Yeah, I
three.
see.
Yeah,
You were
you
drawing all the crowds.
I
you could
was.
have been peddling anything, and they'd been like, "Oh, shit,
Yeah.
food, drink, all right."
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, and then the people that didn't, like, they were walking in the middle, in between the booths or whatever, and they kind of glance over me, and I would just point at them and then point the shots or just yell, I'll be like, "Hey, want some shots?" And they're like, "Oh,
Everybody
okay."
says
Okay."
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Brady
So,
ran over.
I sampled 2 or 6.
yeah.
There you go.
So I made just, if my math is correct, about just shy of 400 lemon drop shots. And then we had 4 different flavors of beef stick samples out there, and then we had the bucket of pull tabs
Partain.
pull tabs that people could grab, and then I had a sheet with the corresponding prizes that they could win, so while they were taking their shots and eating snack sticks, I could give them my little spiel about par tabs, what it's about, how you play if you're out on the course, or how you win. And then everybody got a lot of good feedback on that. Everybody
Yeah, we
thought that
might
was a
have
really
some
good idea.
new listeners who scanned your QR code. So
Mhm.
Yeah, give him a
welcome.
shout out.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's it. Thanks to everybody that stopped by. Everybody
You did tell
everybody
me
likes something.
something ridiculous though. You said that you had people that didn't even know how to use such a thing.
Oh my goodness. So
I was angry when he told me that the other
So
day.
there was, like, we're so familiar with pull tabs when we go to the bar that it's just a common thing. We even think about it. So that's why I thought this was a good idea when I made this game for golf. But turns out, a lot of people got it. They didn't understand the part that wasn't for money. So as soon as you explain the golf aspect, they got that and they liked that part. There's people, when I said pull tabs, they looked at me like a deer in the headlights. They're
What you
just like,
talking about?
what? This one girl's like, I'm like, all right, so pull tabs, right? And she goes, no. And I'm like, you're visiting.
Please.
I go, you're
Please.
visiting. You're not. You go, you're not from Wisconsin. She goes, no, I'm from Texas.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So then I explained it to her. She liked it. And then I had another dude. I'm like, oh yeah, all you do is bend it in the middle, and then the tab, the flaps open up, and you can see if you win to prize it. He held it the long way.
Just fold it in.
so,
Nice.
so the second one, I'm like, no.
Boy.
I'm like, nope. You just go like this. You flip it around. Actually, his wife yelled at him. She's like, no, you do it like this.
I could just see you stand there, just like, like not even sure how not to make fun of you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Sometimes
then,
you just need a little common sense, eh?
yeah. What else happened? So either like,
You're looking at the world's best bluegill tosser. I don't know if we're just gonna glaze over that
we'll get
already.
back to that. I'm still talking about the booth, dude. Just chill out. That
He's got a right to brag. Eh?
yeah, I do got a right to brag. So like it was good. I'm gonna do the exact same thing next year. I'm gonna have the lemon drop went over really well because like it's funny. All these dudes like the snack sticks, and then obviously just free alcohol. All the girls like the shots of lemon drop because it's not too harsh. So while they were doing that, I was explaining the pull tabs. I had a lot of people asking me for the
Bar
recipe, the
tabs.
lemon, or yeah, the par tabs. I had a lot of people asking me the recipe for the lemon drop, and then
You say
I got
trade secret.
yeah, it's a trade.
You should have thrown a TM on that somewhere.
Yeah.
It was funny because I was like, talking to this one guy about him, and he seemed to be like an avid golfer, and he's like, dude, I need a pack of these right now. And you're not really supposed to sell stuff there because it's a charity event, but I'm like, yeah, I could definitely hook you up. And his girlfriend or wife was eating the snack sticks, and she's like, yeah, get a pack. That'd be great. And then I handed him the par tabs, and she's like, that's going to be a great midnight snack. And he's like, what? He goes, I bought a pack of these. She's like, I thought you bought a pack of beef sticks.
No, wise investment either way.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with either of those options.
But
that's funny though.
Yeah, there was a while there where, it was pretty steady where I could keep up, but then there was a point where Jordan had to jump in, and he was just legit pouring shots to try to keep up with that while I was explaining the pull tabs. And we must have had like 35 people at the table at once.
Did you guys run out of lemon drop then?
No, I didn't. When I got done, I had probably a growler. I filled up a growler at the house, and then one bottle, like just a regular liquor bottle, and then I had just a little bit left on the bottom that I pitched out.
It went over
But
pretty
we
well.
had very little. We had very little snack sticks left. Website now is going crazy. Got some orders yesterday.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's what advertising does.
Yeah, imagine that. You advertise and
you
people
put
buy
it
shit.
out there in the ether, and people
Unbelievable.
are drawn to it.
I know. And the Lions Club was super. They were, as soon as I got there, they were super helpful of like helping me set up. Super thankful. They even got me this. You can't see it.
Oh, we're doing the visual part of our podcast.
We're doing the visual thing, but I got a nice sweatshirt. It says I sponsored the whole Eskimo Open, and then on the back it says what happens at the lake stays at the lake. And the lady gave it to me. She's like, this is just our special sweatshirt for the whole sponsors. Nobody else gets this. It's not for sale. It's just for you guys. I'm like, oh, well, thank you.
Sweet.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Now we're going to tell everything that happened at this event.
I did my best to donate to them. I entered many raffles and many 50-50s and won absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Did anyone from the group win it, like the big prize or anything?
Wazzle won a 50-50 raffle right away.
He did?
Yep.
Now wait, hold on. What did he do with it?
I knew this would be a hot topic here. So, it was a charity event for the children, but Wazzle said, fuck them kids. I'm taking all the money.
Wazzle, my man, if you're listening, big hug from me to you, buddy.
How much, since it was the first one, I assume they got a lot of people to get in right away. So how much money did he win?
Oh, I think it was just over 100.
Yeah,
that's not,
he made money that day.
Yeah, I was just say more than paid for his whole day for sure.
Yeah, that's good for him.
Yeah,
that was awesome. When I heard him and Getch came.
He's the luckiest goddamn son of a bitch in the entire
let him be
world.
Lucky. Be happy for him.
He wins everything.
Speaking of that, you got to say who ended up winning the trophy and what it was.
So this year, the trophy was a drinking horn made out of like a drinking mug made out of an actual bull horn with like the wood bottom, and then I had Jaden designed and cut out the Eskimo Champion 2024 out of vinyl, and then we weeded that out and hit it with a sandblaster so it was etched into the glass, and then a couple bottles of the Jackson Morgan cream liquor or whatever it is.
Yeah, I had to ask for a picture of that right away, and I thought that was pretty sweet.
Yep.
That was a cool trophy.
First timer old Gucci Getch took home the prize.
Good for him, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, good work.
Yep. Yeah. Could have
I
been
sent
me,
a picture.
but,
I sent a picture of mine right back in response, and asked Brady to see his, but he said next year.
Yeah, next year. Yep. Yeah. That's 2 out of the past 3 years. A first timer has won it. That's pretty wild.
What's that?
No. All right.
Well, we're doing the math. I think you're wrong.
I think you're wrong.
Yeah, because I was 2 years ago. 2 years ago I won.
Yeah,
but
wasn't that
last year? And Rob won, or Bobby won, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, but 2 years ago, wasn't that your first time?
Okay, you know what? He's not wrong.
Yeah,
you're
right. Out of the last
Make sure you edit out that silence.
That's
right,
why
so you guys are just dumb. All right.
Well, me and Blake both were like, "Wait, what? Hold on." Well,
Dude,
I thought you meant like in a row. So
no, that's why I said 2 out of the last 3 and not the last 2.
I don't remember that sentence.
So so I guess get back to Brady, what he was talking about. So it was weird. We had some hole sponsors that were down like in the horseshoe pit area, like where I was at, and then there were some hole sponsors up in the parking lot. But right next to me, they usually have out on the ice a frozen bluegill toss, but with holes drilled in the ice. But this year they had them in ice cream buckets. And I had the video of Brady. You were just dominating the frozen fish toss.
Crushed it. 3 for 3, 1 in each bucket. No big deal.
So that was pretty impressive. What'd you end up winning for it?
A floaty keychain and a koozie. What's up?
Yeah, I feel like every Wisconsinite just has a door or a drawer just dedicated to all their koozies.
So I did that. That was like right away, like 10 o'clock, 10:30, like when we first got there. At like 3 o'clock, when like the thing's winding down, we're chilling over at the tiki bar. Those guys see me, come over, make me go back to their station and take a picture with all of them holding up a fish, because apparently I was the only one who hit all 3 the entire day.
Really? Holy cow. That's pretty good.
They were like, "You gotta come back over here and take a picture." That was so awesome.
Just be like, "Yeah, name's Brady. We got the video. Here's my social media." You can put
want me to do it again? Bam, bam, bam.
I thought it was pretty funny that in our lane that I was at on, we had hole sponsors on one side and hole sponsors on the other side. So directly across from me, there was a bar doing like a shake a day.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do that and then walk over to me, and I had pull tabs. I'm like, this works out perfect, dude.
Yeah, I did the shake a day one. Was you roll 2 dice. If you get doubles, you get to choose your own shot. But if you don't, you get mystery shot. And it was a full blown. I saw there's like 3 bottles on the table, and I was like, oh, I'll take any of those 3, no problem. I don't roll doubles. And then she reaches into the box and grabs a new bottle and then pours that into a cup. And the way she was holding it, I couldn't even see what it was at all. And I was like, oh no, what did I get? So I take it down and I was like, oh, it's sweet and delicious. It was like very fruity. But then all of a sudden it was a very burny aftertaste. Apparently it was a mango habanero whiskey or something like that. So it's like, at first it was just that delicious hint of mango citrus. Like, oh, this is good. And then it was like, oh, it's hot. Why is my mouth hot? Why is it burning?
Like,
that's I think we carried that. That must be like the old Smoky or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It wasn't too bad. It went away quick, but I was just like, not what I was expecting, like for just randomness, you know.
I could see people flipping out about that. Just be like, this is delicious. Ah, you bitch.
Yeah, right. What happened? It took such a terrible turn. But then, up on top of the hill was basically like all the beer ones. Like there was 3 different restaurants, breweries, whatever up there. They were peddling there, a couple different brews. One like blue blonde thing.
Wasn't that the blueberry, like a blueberry flavored beer or something? I heard
any blueberry, but it was called a blue blonde, so maybe. I mean, wasn't my favorite, but some people might have liked it. Then there was one brewery from I wish I had these people's names, but I don't. One brewery from the Dells, they had like 2 different beers. Both of those were all right. And then the one that Shane mentioned when he was on the pod a few weeks ago, from like Columbus, was up there, and they had 2 different ones too. So
yeah, the one
plenty of different brews to go around and sample if that's in your bag.
Yeah, the one from the Dells was Bevy, They make a variety of beers, and they actually do a lot of good, like, I think they were at the Barbecue. They sold beers there, and they do a lot of, like, local events. And then, like you said, the guys from Columbus, and then the other one was, I think, wasn't that Lucky's Bar?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
The Bevy one, they brought a golf themed beer. It was like Partude or Par something. Parade. I think it was Parade.
You got to get your product and their product
Parade.
linked, Blake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn, why is you just? I'm just finding about this now. I
You
could
should
have
have
went up
walked
here.
around once.
I couldn't, Alex.
too busy.
Take a break. Take your.
He's not lying. That booth, here's people at the booth pretty much the entire time.
Well, I was sick, so I wasn't there. So,
and then also, I was probably the last booth standing. Like at the end of it, I saw everybody else kind of pack up. I'm like, I'm just gonna chill out, wait till everybody's like actually done.
Got no place to be.
Yeah, I had no place to be. So, and basically, I was just anybody I could see, like, come over, finish up these shots. Let's get going here. So
Sweet,
I had a great time.
That's good. I was kind of wondering how it was going to go. I'm glad it was popular.
Yeah, like I said, the golf was definitely different. I mean, only 9 holes was a little bit of a bummer compared to the normal 18, but it was still fun. Like, I still enjoyed myself. And like I said, it still took a decent amount of time to get us all the way around there and through the course. So it was good.
How many people were in the group golfing, Brady? Like, do you know roughly how many people? Like 10 or so?
Yeah, right around 10 to a dozen, I'd say, in our group were out there.
That's a decent crowd.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it was,
now you got to move on to making your golf event, Blake. I was
some pretty good prizes. They had like gift certs to like Fishtail, super good restaurant down there, a big like Yeti cooler where they were giving away like a giant Bloody Mary basket with like mixes and booze and like ingredients and stuff, and all sorts of good prizes down there.
I did see the one, I mean, so that's how they raise money too, is through these raffles or whatever. But I was out in the booth, and like one of the dudes from the Lions Club came out and just announced, he's like, meat raffle starts in 10 minutes. Get up and get your paddle. So I didn't actually see any of those go around either, since I was outside the whole time.
When we went back in from golfing, I saw like a few tables where, like one lady had like a giant rack of ribs sitting in front of her, and one lady had like 4 different packages of meat. So I was like, they were getting around. They did their job.
Yeah. You could tell it was good. And then speaking of the meat stuff, there's like a lot of out of towners, like a lot of people from all over, because they didn't know what pull tabs were. And then, the snack sticks were from the butcher shop in Fenimore. And like, where's Fenimore? I'm like, it's by Dodgeville on the way to
nobody knows where that is.
Yeah, I'm like, well, like, no way. I'm like, southwest Wisconsin. They're like, oh, on the way to Iowa?
Bottom corner.
Yeah. So those went over very well. But yeah, besides the, like Brady said, I was pretty decently, I wouldn't say comfortable. I was slightly cold all day, but man, once you took your gloves off to pour shots or something, I mean, your hands were instantly cold.
Yeah, I had the appropriate amount of layers for the length of time I was out there. If we were hanging out much longer, I probably would have needed another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has been a crazy kind of February with the weather. I mean, really, that was probably the coldest day that we're going to have in the last, 2 weeks.
Right.
It's been 40s, and then what you said it was 20 something, or supposed to be 20 something degrees that day?
It was like a high of 36 or something.
Oh, was it really? Okay, I guess that's still pretty warm, but yeah, still unusual for February.
I did have 2 guys that bought 2 packs, and then I'm like, thank you. I'm like, I'm glad. Hope you enjoy them. It wasn't maybe 45 minutes later, somebody came up behind me and goes, here. Shane was at the tiki bar. He goes, I'm supposed to give these to you. 2 guys left them at the bar. I'm like, it was the 2 packs of par tabs that they bought. And I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, I felt bad. I'm like, they paid money for it. So I'm like, I'll just set them here.
And they just forgot them.
Yeah, they just forgot them. And then an hour later, the one dude comes down. And he's like, hey, man. And I'm like, I just lifted up the basket they were in. He's like, oh, thank God, dude. He's like, I can't believe we did that. I'm like, that's all right. He's like, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm like, I'm here for you guys. I'm here for the people.
I'll go download and subscribe.
Yeah, you're the backbone. I tell you what, though, man, that just shows you, though, like this summer, we got to do a little more pedaling, though. Like, we got to get down a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I think it will take off if we just hit the right spots.
Oh, it will. Like I sold 4 packs yesterday to somebody on the East Coast in Pennsylvania, and I don't think they were at the Eskimo Open. So
that's sweet.
I know that Pennsylvania is on the coast, but
Well,
No,
whatever. East Coast.
Well, getting
Yeah.
towards the east.
I think it's on the coast.
Yeah, it's New York, Maine, Indiana, all that East Coast.
What?
All those states that are over there, yeah. That's good though, man. I don't care where they're at coast wise, as long as they're buying them.
Yeah, and everybody was actually interested about this. I'm like, oh, you have your own podcast? I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, it's just four idiots talking
Yeah,
about
any
golf.
Jagoff can do it.
Yeah. Well, I
You guys
said, I
want to
go,
be a guest?
she goes,
Really difficult.
yeah, the person goes like, I don't know, it's a lady or something. She's like, what are you talking about? Just golf? I'm like, well, I go, we usually start off with golf and then it ends with like food or beer
I
or
don't be
bar. I
knocking
go,
food. I look forward to that part of our conversation.
not knocking food. I'm just saying, I'm like, yeah, it trails off. So I go, we basically talk about a lot of Wisconsin related things. So
Yeah,
that went
I
over
look-
well. A lot of people scanned that code. Like I had the podcast barcode out there or QR code, and then the website QR code with the by the par tab payout equations, and then yeah. So I was happy. I'm
Good
gonna
deal.
definitely do it again next year. So
Sweet.
we just
Hopefully
need
I'll
to.
be there next year.
Yeah, I was
God
just gonna
dang it.
say, dude, you just got to be healthy. Everybody was asking where you were at. Like, hey,
Between me being sick and my kid being sick, and yeah, it just was a. I hated it. I hated messaging Brady because I'm like, oh, classic legs.
no, like I had like,
Tis the season for the sickness, though.
yeah, I had 50 people came up to me like, where's that Alex guy off the podcast? I'm like, oh, he's sick. So
That never
Anybody said that
happened. Yeah, was there
where's
anyone that listened that did show up? Was like, hey, listen to the podcast.
No.
Yeah, why do you
no.
think Wazzle and Get showed up?
That's true. Shout out.
They're like, where's the guy that shotguns gravy? I'm like, yeah, he's sick today. He's got heart
It's
issues.
not related to the gravy. You should have.
It might be a prolonged exposure to gravy.
But yeah, so that was that. But
Now we just need that weather to warm up a bit, and we can go out and play a few real rounds, huh?
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Can. So yeah, I'll make sure Jordan listens to this episode, and then maybe he probably remembers some stuff from this weekend that I'm forgetting too. But
Yeah.
Do a little recap next
Tell you
week.
what, when we were actually golfing out there, though, that ground was hard. Like you'd hit a ball, and like it's just regular old people's yard grass. That thing, you'd be like, "Oh, I'm headed straight for it," and it'd hit that rock hard ground, and it would just kick dead right for no reason.
right.
Find some lump and just be like, "It's gone. It's gone forever."
That's one thing I'm glad is that it stayed cold enough that like the ground didn't turn to mud and it wasn't a muddy mess.
Like puddle out there, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yep. So, but
Okay, I'm done.
No, that's it. I was just gonna say thanks to everybody. Well, thanks to Lions Club. Thanks to everybody that showed up and participated, and especially if you stopped by the Ridge Golf table, like that's much appreciated. Like hope you spread the word, and then it helps us keep going. And then shout out to the Moose for hosting it and the bartenders. The inside was packed, dude, and I think they had 4 or 5 people behind the bar, and they were busting their ass all day. So
yeah, they crushed it. I never waited more than a couple of minutes. Like it was fast service, even when it was that full. They were busting their butts for sure.
Yeah,
Tip your bartenders, y'all.
Yeah, big shout out to those people.
Words of wisdom.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go, kids.
All right, thanks for hopping on, fellas.
All right,
Bye, guys.
Get out of here!